Wam, Call Halal, Wahawat, La Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. The abundance to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well and who have taught us this knowledge. This is salutations to you fellow laborers out there that's doing the work of truth sincerely. Shalom to you and shalom to the few Akwaf that believe as well. This is a news clip entitled No End to excuse me. It's entitled No End to Israel and Palestine Conflict. Now, as we know that, the imposters that occupy our land have been at war since they entered into that land. And it's befitting because we clearly know what the prophecy says about when the people return into the land. And I entitled this video, What Does the Prophecy Say? Because the prophecy say when the children of Israel return into the land, that they will be at rest, which y'all get in this video. So I'm going to let this news clip play a little bit, and then I'm going to bring up some scriptures. And Lord willing, this video is edifying. So bear with me 1 second, let me get the video queued up.
Shifting focus for now, it's the end of Ramadan, and could this mark the end of the month-long tensions in Israel? Our correspondent Jody Cohen getting us this report on the situation on the ground. Take a look.
On the final Friday of Ramzan, Hamas supporters near Al-Aqsa hurled stones towards the police and the Western Wall, where Jewish worshippers were praying below. Israeli police entered the compound and fighting broke out in what has become recurring clashes in recent weeks. And on Friday night, another attack, this time targeting a security guard in Ariel, a West Bank settlement community which most Israelis consider to be part of mainland Israel. The attack was claimed by the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigades, the military wing of Fatah, which is led by Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. But despite this, could the political tides be turning? Israel's alternate Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Yair Lapid and Mansour Abbas, the head of the Ram Party, agreed to reunite after Ram announced a 2-week suspension of ties over the recent...
As you can see, the conflict is ongoing, all right? Now, let's go to the scriptures. Because again, we know what the scriptures say according to prophecy. All right. So first I want to go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. And the 10th verse, Jeremiah 30 and 10, it says, Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Neither be dismayed, O Israel, Yashar Allah, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. None, right? No one should make Jacob afraid. Well, in this video, they showed you the conflict, right? And what was going on? Uh-oh. Shalakia, the video. The video I was trying to pull up, it's not coming up. But anyways, there we go. In this video, as you can see, it says no end to Israel-Palestine conflict. Shalakia, these apps have a mind of their own. Sometimes they reboot without even, rebooting it. So, Shalakia for the technical difficulties. But, as the title said, that the conflict is ongoing pretty much. All right. Which means what? That the people in the land, all right, or that occupy the land, they are afraid. Well, they can't be Jacob because the power of Jacob is the power of heaven. All right, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and the Son, Yahweh Shai. And Jacob, which his name changed to Israel, and he's the father of the Israelites, right? He has favor with the Heavenly Father. You see? And the whole world know, they all know that we're the Israelites, you know, the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latino or Hispanic, the so-called Native American, the so-called indigenous to the Americas. They know that we're the Israelites. They know that the reason why the people over in that land is not having no peace over there because they're not us. And it's clearly evident that these people that's been in that land have been at war. All right, the first day they was there, they was met with war with the so-called Arabs, sons of Ishmael. Let's go down to the book of Ezekiel. All right, Ezekiel chapter 36 and 5. It says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with spiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey." Now, Idumea is a Greek way of saying Edom. All right, remember Esau is Edom. All right, Genesis 36 and 8. All right, and he's the father of the Edomites, which you have the house or the chief tribe of the house of Esau. All right, the Amalekites, they're in that land. That's why the Lord said they have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of their of all their heart. Because that land was never appointed to them. The land was appointed to the children of Jacob. You see? And if you're not one of the sons of Jacob, you don't belong in that land. All right? It says, what did it say on that? Come on. Let's go from there. I got another precept. And it's befitting because the scriptures say what? A bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. And Ashdod is within the borders of Israel. So we see bastards, all right, being at war. All right, you are no sons of the Most High. All right. Now, from there, I want to go to the book of Isaiah, because this is the way the children of Israel are going to get back to that land. Isaiah 14, and starting at verse 1, it says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave, excuse me, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." Now, key thing is the Lord will set, all right, who? The children of Jacob, all right, the children of Israel back in their own land. All right, we know that according to prophecy, that the way the Lord is going to redeem his elect and the rest of the 1/3 is by way of the chariots, which Esau calls UFOs or UAPs. So we know that according to prophecy, how the children of Israel are going to be set back in their own land. All right, and not by some, public decree or public declaration that's made by men. You see? And when the children of Israel return to that land, guess what? They're not going to be looking over their shoulders. Hell no. We're going to be living it up, man, and ruling over all the heathens, man. This is a book of Isaiah 2. Well, I'll start at the top. Isaiah 2 and 1. It says, "The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days." All right, we're living in the last days right now. All right, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Now, right now, is the Most High's government the top government? If the Most High's house, the top house, same thing. Because why? The children of Israel are going to rule. The so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans are going to rule forever and ever under Yahushua and King David. We know this according to prophecy. No one's flowing into that land. It's always conflict and warring going on over in that land, especially in the Middle East period. All right, in general, just generally speaking. All right, verse 3, "And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. Well, first of all, that's not going on. They just had a big Pride Month celebration in the land of Israel, which is against the ways that the Heavenly Father gave to the children of Jacob. All right, he gave us his laws, he gave us his commandments, statutes, and judgments. All right, there's nothing going to change about that, except for the Heavenly Father is going to write them in our inward parts. All right, and put his law in our minds. Eventually, he's going to program us to be perfect. All right, that's the only thing. But the laws, commandments, statutes, and judges will be kept in the kingdom of heaven. All right, it says, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, from Jerusalem. See, the law. And what does the law say? According to the law, there shouldn't be no Pink City, Tel Aviv. A major eye-opener. Because we know the judgment for doing or living after, such manner as those people that are throwing those pride celebrations, That's nothing even to put as a way to live or to exalt in any manner, period. That kind of living or mannerism or abominable acts should be abhorred. All right. Verse 4, it says, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Now that's turning your weapons of war into farming tools. All right. But right now you have the opposite. The opposite is they're beating their plowshares, all right, into swords, and their spears into pruning hooks. So it's reversed right now, according to Joel the 3rd chapter. But when the children of Israel return to their land, it's going to be the opposite. And you're going to see the heathen serving, because we ain't gonna plow. We ain't gonna plow our own fields. Are you heathen gonna serve us, man? All right. It says, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Now this is a future prophecy that haven't took place yet. And remember, it said at the top of this chapter, it said the last days. All right, in the last days. There's been ongoing wars for many generations. Right now, the nations are gearing up for war. So the people of the land, all right, that's precious, all right, to the Heavenly Father, or just special above all lands, which is the land of Israel, all right, have not seen the people return yet. But when the people return, you're going to know. The whole world is going to know. All right, all the inhabitants of the earth are going to know. When the Lord's people, all right, the Lord's house has returned home. All right. So, right now, as it stands, this prophecy haven't been fulfilled yet. All right. So we're yet waiting. All right. So with that, Lord willing, this video was edifying, and until next time, I want to say shalom.